Hello, just a little public service announcement before we start. This was originally going to be a behind the scenes on our Patreon that you can sign up to if you need extra videos constantly reaffirming what you should be doing in life to excel, hit your goals, get there faster, make yourself better than what you are, damn it. Do it. You owe yourself that. We're talking a couple of bucks. Are you worth a couple of dollars or not? Make sure that you sign up because you get quality content like the following video that I decided halfway through to just chuck out here for free. Because I'm that nice.
A better you starts today.
Hey, you know that habit that you're trying to break? You know, killing prostitutes. Whatever it is. And, I don't have anything wrong with that. That's fine. You're a paying customer to me, and I'm still alive. If it is anything other than that, this might not help. I think that this will definitely help with the Jack the Ripper types that are in the audience, obviously, that I've deliberately cultivated. Here's 2 pieces of advice that are amazing with destroying habits. Bad habits. Now, I've said this a lot, but why are we trying to get rid of bad habits? So we can replace them with less bad habits. Preferably great habits. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Imagine if you replace smoking with, I don't know, have I used this one before? Going to the gym. Mixing it up just like I do my leg days. I don't go to the gym. I use the woman's workout at home. Just those like, hey, this is Oz aerobics, but it costs $600 instead of just getting up at 5:30 because you're a lazy piece of shit. Can you tell from my incredibly masculine figure? So, that's, anyway, shut up. Now, listen to this. I think that these are 2 incredible pieces of advice. And the first one is, God, this one is helpful. Everything that I've talked about so far with habit destruction is based on the premise of internal game. Now, when we're talking about tennis, there's always 2 things that we're talking about. It's your internal game and your external game. It's especially different when it comes to golf. Golf is like 80% psychological. Tennis is pretty close to that. It's just a little bit, you can't be 80 and be very good at it. So the point is that they're talking about an internal and an external game. The internal game is getting your mindset right. That's the internal game. The external game is obviously just the actions that you're fulfilling. So when you are destroying a habit, and we all know what habit we're talking about, don't we? I just did a video on it. That's right, porn. Whatever it is. I'm sure it's that. I'm sure it is. Now, if that is what you're having problems with, did you know that you also have to hold your little peenie and go like the little monkey you are? You don't have to do that? What about when you're smoking cigarettes? You have to just get the little cock in your mouth because you're a homo. That's what. That's what. So that's why there is also an external game to this. So the internal game, and I want you to write this down. Every single time I have ever heard anybody say, this is how I got off X, the way that they got off X without fail is always something along the lines of, this is important. You need to come up with your own version of this, which is that, like, you are not missing out on anything. It's from an anti-smoking book that I read once. That did actually help a lot, now that I think about it. It helped a lot, because you at least understand what the guide is, like the inner game that you are trying to get, which is that, like, you aren't gaining anything from it. When you get that psychological shift in your head that this isn't helping me at all, because there's always just this like little craving to whatever you want in life. You're like, you know what it is. I don't know what it is. You've got something. You do. There is always something that is detrimentally sucking on your life. And even if you don't have any of the normal ones of like your smoking, your drinking, your chronic masturbation, there's nothing else that, like, I don't know what it is, right? Like, there's always going to be something. But those are usually the 3. Yeah, it's either smoking, drinking, that weed. I'll include that in smoking. There's always going to be something that you are doing that you shouldn't be doing. Overeating, you fat fuck. There's always going to be something. The way that you get that first click in your head, and this is always linked to what Tony Robbins talks about, which is that you need to have the want. You have to have the want. The desire. You have to have the desire to quit. That's the first thing. The way that you get that desire, every way, the key to getting the desire to even want to quit in the first place is always going to be, you're not missing out on anything. A variation of that works. when I was listening to a heroin addict talk about it once, he had a really good way of saying it. It was like, what got you off heroin? Then he was just like, it was when I realized, like, all it does is take. You see how these are kind of linked? All it does is take. All heroin does from my life is take. That's one. By the way, if you're wondering why there isn't a background on this one, it's because I halfway through realized I should be not filming my Patreon today. This is one that's going to go to the actual audience. So sorry about that. I'm doing this inside my studio in Success Island because I've got a house there as well. A mansion, in fact. I'm inside that mansion now. That's why. Really should have put that window up. Yeah. I mean, outside set. That's the one. So, that's what's happening. There is always going to be some internal game in your head. Always. Subscribe, by the way. There is always... Subscribe now, you fuck. Do it. Just press the button. I know how many of you don't. Like, there's like 60% of you that sit there and go like, I'll never use this again. This is a whole channel made from advice. And normally, I do film these inside my benches, the Patreon version, which is an extra 3 a week. 3 a week, max. You can get one if you're a cheapskate. It costs you like less than a fucking chocolate bar. And unlike a chocolate bar, it's actually going to make you a better person. A way better person. Way more effective. I will take this to the grave. I'm so proud of this channel because it has made millionaires. Millionaires that do good things. Like solar panels, for instance. Like making the mining industry more environmentally competitive and friendly. Great things. People that have run for parliament as a result of this channel. People that have won. People that have won. This channel makes you strive for your goals because it gives you the idea in your head that what you are aiming for is possible if you apply yourself. But you need that message constantly drilled in your head. If you don't, like what happened to this channel for all the people that have been religiously following it, like the good little cultists that they are, if you stop following that message, you start deteriorating. I know from experience. When I was off for that 4 months, I didn't do fucking anything. Nothing. Then I started this again. I was like, holy shit. And I've done way more in the last couple of months that this has been going. Anyway, sorry. Back to the message. I'm not missing out on anything. It just takes. This was the other heroin message. The last heroin addict message that I thought of, that it reminded me of when I got that first thing of like, you're not missing out on anything. It sounds like I'm a coke addict. Yeah, so anyway, this is how you stop doing your thing. The last one that I always heard is that they had the realization that nothing in their life has gone well ever since they started taking heroin. Like, it has just replaced all the happy memories that he had in his head. How sinister is this? All the happy memories that he had in his head were when he wasn't on heroin. When he was on heroin, he was doing things like kill his friend. Because it was based off the movie Party Monster, which Macaulay Culkin played in, just for your little trivia at home. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know why I'm referencing that and suppose of the guy in real life that actually did it. But anyway, the point is, he was saying the thing that got him off heroin, the guy that killed someone else because of his that, he was just like, realized like, dude, that was because of heroin. You know? Like, he didn't act like a murderer before that. So what I'm saying is, you masturbating will lead to you killing your best friend. Can you live with that? That's what I'm saying. It's an absolute fact. Just the facts. I'm saying that there is always going to be something that when you link it in your head, you will realize there'll just be all of these moments. You know what you always get with like porn addiction, for instance, right? You always get this like thing where you have the recovering addicts talking about the fact that when I look back at it, there was all these opportunities for sex at parties and things like that I just thought like, nah, it's not going to be as good as seeing Lana Rhodes' tits. You know? I mean, guys, literally, bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Don't you think? There is always going to be some massive negatives that are linked to whatever you are having. So we are talking about just destroying the desire to continue the habit that you know is ruining your life. That's the first point. So what I want is for you, this is your homework. Number one, your number one piece of homework when you are trying to, because always on this channel, I always want you to be working on replacing one bad habit with one good habit. That's what we want to be doing. We want to be aiming for doing that. If we can just get a couple of those in the board a year, your entire life changes, because life is about individual little choices. And if you change one of those habits, okay, let's just use the really classic example. You're smoking cigarettes, you reach 60, you're probably going to have cancer and die. Do you want that? No. Well, you know, you've probably seen enough for that age. But the point is that is the result of choices. Did you learn that at Choices in year 11, the talk with the overpaid cop that comes into your house? We'll show anyway. Don't get AIDS. I'm giving you that talk at the moment, right? But the thing is, yes, that you can just eliminate that. Now, replace that with, let's go with the stock standard. Reading every day for an hour. I can tell you from first-hand experience. First off, I would not have the knowledge base, and this is the incredible thing that happens when you read. It just gives you all of these different mental models that you can apply to the world, and mental models equals more advantages in life because you are able to see reality in wider and wider parameters. So I was way dumber 4 years ago than I am now. Why? Because in that period of time, I've probably read about 1,000 books. High hundreds. I don't know. But, I'm always reading... No, wait, 4 years ago, no, I wouldn't have read 1,000 books. No, sorry, I'm talking about like 10 years. Probably not every 10 years. I probably, on average, read about a book a week. I probably read about 4 books a month because I'm always listening to audiobooks. I'm always reading for an hour a day. So I probably churn through at least 4 a month, right? So that is the meta habit that you should always be trying to instill. If you're not doing that, then you really aren't practicing anything that this channel is teaching you first off. So you should be replacing that with that. And you always notice that when you do your bad habit, it's off all of your other shitty, smaller habits. So if you are able to take out that one habit, then everything else starts getting better. Everything starts getting better. So, what is it costing you? I want you to come up with your own phrase that resonates with you. Something along the lines of realizing, I want you to think about your habit. I want you to write down what is going on with your habit at the moment. And I want you to just come up with that one phrase that pops out to you specifically. You're not missing out on anything. Didn't work for me. It just takes. Didn't work for me. I'll tell you what does work for me with my habits a lot of the time. This has just made my life worse. That always just resonates with me. That particular line. My days are worse. When I eliminate that habit, when I don't do that habit on that day, I have a better day. When you have that realization, bam, life better. So, let's go on to the second one. And I know that I promised this a lot before, but let's talk about the outer game. The outer game is for you to have your, oh no, my mum just walked in the room, come on your mum's face, you poor woman. Right? You getting that, why do these videos get demonetized? You having to do that, you actually have to do the physical action. So, how's this for a head spin? All of the ideas that are going on in your head about like, you got to do it now, you got to do it now. I mean, in the middle of a bash, that's obviously the best place to have a wank, obviously. Yeah, right when the bus driver. Replace his little gear stick there with your cock and then you get a free stranger. That is all that's going on in your head. To actually do the action, you have to do the action. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Doing the action requires you to make a physical choice in the real world. Not just the thoughts in your head, you actually have to do it. If you want to smoke cigarettes, you actually have to put the cigarette in your mouth. So the whole point is to try and just recognize that there is a physical element to this and stopping yourself physically in the real world. This is something that was just like, oh my God, how the fuck did I ever not think this? I've read so many books about, habit destruction over the years because you understand when you read enough about self-help that it's just like, dude, that's key because you just want your life sort of just to be an autopilot, that you just do these things. And so, for instance, it never occurs to me to play a video game. It just occurs to me when I get an itch to be like, I got to do these videos and then I come home and do this, right? I mean, my Success Island, of course. Of course, that's what I meant. Everybody on Success Island wears a Kmart jacket. They probably would, though, because did you ever know that, like, millionaires just wear, like, casual clothes? But anyway, that is the key. Always. Habit destruction. It has never, ever been explained to me once. Isn't this astonishing? Not once. That it's like, you can actually stop yourself from doing the physical action. You can just, like, not do the physical action. It requires you to do the physical action in the real world. Think about that. Think about that. You have to pick up the cigarette. You have to put it in your mouth. It's not all just this like mind game. And I think that it's really important to just move out of like, this is all a head game when you were doing a habit thing. It's also just like physical actions that lead to it. And you can stop the physical action at any moment. You can. So to smoke, you actually have to smoke. Think about that. You actually have to do the action. You can stop yourself at that point. Like at any point, this gives you so many more points in your head to eliminate that moment. There are also some other mental games that I have locked behind the Patreon. You can sign up to that. And if you do sign up to that, 3 videos extra a week, but you have access to fucking hundreds of extra videos of things that I am reading that week. You would be absolutely stupid not to sign up. Everybody that signs up, their life just keeps improving and improving. Absolute fact. I don't listen to any of the surveys that come out, so I don't know if that is. But the point is, I think that you should sign up. What a great source.